The top agents aren't the ones who are the most talented. They're the ones who take action every single day, even when it's messy. So here's the truth. Success in real estate doesn't come from natural ability. It comes from consistent execution. Think Tom Hanks in Castaway. He had no special survival skills, but he planned, executed, failed, adjusted, and kept going until he made it off the island. Real estate works exactly the same way. Don't wait to feel ready. Pick one action today. Do it. If this reminder hit home, subscribe for more ways to turn consistent action into consistent income. Success comes from action, not talent. We build a plan, follow a model, and take action. We fail forward, lather, rinse, repeat. We teach in Sales Rocket Coaching that we remove natural ability from the equation. So the harder we work, the more we learn. The more opportunities we have, the more we learn. Some people call it the school of hard knocks. We call it Sales Rocket Coaching. Here's what top agents know. No action leads to nowhere. And the only way to get results is to move. Take action. At GloverU, we share Gloverisms. And one Gloverism that hits hard with taking action is every day that we do not lead generate, we sacrifice our paycheck 90 days from now. Why is that valid? Because real estate is a 100-day cycle. And so everything we do today, we're not going to feel the ramifications of inaction. We're going to feel it 100 days from now. So if you were to take a week off, you will still have closings next week if you have pendings, and you will still have appointments next week. But taking that week off, you may feel the lag 100 days from now. And that's one of the misunderstandings of a long cycled sales process that is real estate. And that is that every 100 days is our process. So let's bring clarity and focus into the lens for today's video. And that is defining what needs to be done, knowing our numbers and our goals, and executing with intentionality. Defining what we need to do today is one of the foundational reasons that we build a business plan. Knowing our numbers is the economic model, or breaking down our needs and wants, our expenses, and then dividing it by our average commission, sharing exactly how many transactions we need to close. Well, when you track contacts to appointments and appointments to listings taken, or buyer broker agreements signed, meaning contacts to a buyer consultation or contacts to a listing presentation, we now will know, based on math, how many contacts we need to have to schedule an appointment. Well, that's what knowing our numbers are, and correlating them or connecting them to your goals, your needs, and of course, what it is that you want. Because the purpose of a business is profit, and the purpose of profit is to fund the perfect life, and the perfect life is to truly live before you die. And the cleanest, clearest path to a successful real estate business or entrepreneurship is to know exactly what it is that you want, knowing what it takes financially to get there, and building a plan, having a support system around you, and high accountability to assure that you can keep moving forward. Because if there's one thing that I've learned in the real estate space, is that many agents got into this business to not have a boss. In other words, the freedom and flexibility. And the freedom and flexibility is exactly why they fail. Don't be that agent. And that reminds me of a conversation I had with one of my first brokers back in 2005. And I was one of those agents who needed to have everything perfect before I would drive it forward. And maybe it was because I never was in sales before I got into real estate. And what he shared with me is Lee, if you don't take action, if you don't make your contacts, if you don't hit your appointment goals, you're going to be the greatest agent that never was. And that hit me hard because I was studying to be the greatest coach, to be the greatest representation, to be the greatest fiduciary. And he nailed it. And he's like, if you don't have any clients, you're the greatest agent that never was. And that brings me to another Gloverism, and that is that actions speak louder than words and results speak louder than actions. So don't tell me what you're gonna do. Do it, and let's see where we land. Which brings us to accountability. My definition of accountability is doing what you say you're gonna do when you say you're gonna do it. What we have found is that this is the hardest part of being an entrepreneur or being a real estate agent, is because as an independent contractor, no one can tell you what to do. And that's the blessing and the curse, is that no one's going to tell you what to do. And really, at the end of the day, if you don't do it, no one's going to say you're fired. You're just going to run out of money and be a statistic. Don't be that agent. If you're enjoying any part of this video, hit the thumbs up button. It really helps my channel. So let's dive into the 4 keys to accountability, and that is reliability, timeliness, ownership, and embracing challenges. Reliability is following through on your commitments, doing what you say you're gonna do. Timeliness, which is showing up on time, every time. When you have an appointment, you show up early, because being on time is late. And selling real estate down here in Miami, it's not a flex being late. So let's move to number 3, which is ownership. And ownership is not blaming external factors. It's owning your success. It's knowing what framework you have to execute your particular goals. And so one of the tactics that I use with many of my clients who struggle with accountability is I ask them to create their own framework of conversations, of when they're going to show up, and what they plan to do in their own words. In other words, I'm having them be clear in what it is they say they're going to do, what their obstacles would be. In other words, if they know they can't come into the office every day 9 to 12, but they could be sitting down in their chair calling at 9:30. Well, declare it, 9:30. Then we bring in financial accountability, because being a solopreneur, being an individual that doesn't have anyone else counting on them, showing up should be easy. But if there's $1,000 on the line of you showing up in the office by 8 o'clock, you're going to make different decisions the night before, the morning of, and that snooze button, every time you hit it, is a very different vibration than if you just show up at 9:10. And number 4, embracing challenges. Every successful real estate agent has struggled, and the difference between them and an agent who has not, the agent who struggles and perseveres, pushes through and wins. The 4th is embracing challenges and understanding that that's part of the path, that's part of the journey. The story is so much better, so much more grand when you're on the other side of success sharing it. Then real estate is a tough racket. Very different ways of sharing the same story. No one's coming to save you. You either do the work or you don't get paid.